Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, March 16th. It is 6:23 right now. We got market opening up shortly in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish setting up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. So let's see what we got here. All right, check my hedge accounts. All right, guys. So people are making their win right now. And as people make their way in, just wanted to give you guys a heads up, making a slight adjustment to the entries I'm looking for, specifically on the 1 minute. Um, I'll wait for a few more people to make their way in and then I'll kind of discuss it so I don't have to do it uh, multiple times. So I'll give it a few moments. I think people are still making their way. Let's get closer to market open and then I'll kind of explain. You'll see this is the main chart. You guys can see I've kind of shifted. I went from looking for the zone entries, which I mean, the zone entries are good. Um, to something a little more stable that's a little faster, more quick pace. So like it's the same concept of break and retest, but instead of using the SR, I'm using the liquidity. So I'll kind of explain to you guys in a bit once, people make their way in. But I'm looking for the same exact pattern. I'm looking for a break and retest off structure. Structure could be an SR zone. Structure could be a liquidity zone. Structure could be a high low. It's the same concept. It's just using different criteria for the entry there. Because the thing that I noticed with the SR is like, yeah, it's good, but a lot of times it doesn't come up. So, I mean, I could look for both, but for the most part, it's hard because there's so much, like the screen starts to get pretty messy, as you guys can see right now. It's pretty messy. If I just left up the SRs versus the liquidity, it would still be messy. So you really have to just choose one or the other, right? So if I turn on the liquidity or I turned off liquidity, I left the SR, it's still pretty messy, right? Same thing. So like I said, same concept. It's just what I found. What I found from my like review is that the liquidity is actually easier to follow, and I'll explain it in a bit. Um, again, like once people join the room, so I don't have to do it twice. So same concept of strategy. It's just a slight difference in how I plan on applying it. All right, we got market opening up in about 3 minutes. I was gonna mark up structure um, right before we got on, but let's see what I can do here. This is gonna help me be able to take trades on all the accounts and not just the prop. I think that was the biggest concern here for me because I didn't want to keep switching between prop and hedge fund and stuff like that. I didn't even figure something out that worked out for both. So, okay, let's do that real quick. Enable all the accounts. 6:28 right now. We got market opening up shortly. If you guys are looking to take the breakout, it's looking like it might be a sell. The sell signal just closed right there, at least for the 1 minute. Kind of just depends on like what time frame you're looking for that confirmation. Um, okay. Let's see what I got here. 62. Sixty-two 57. Okay. All right, guys, we got market opening up shortly in a few moments. If you guys are looking to take the breakout, it's going to be a sell for the 1 minute, and for the 10 minute, it's going to be a buy. So it kind of just depends on what you guys are looking for. That 10-minute confirmation. It's pretty choppy here on the one, so I'd probably go with the buy instead, because the 10-minute here is not as choppy, right? Whenever it's very choppy on the one, I typically would just go with a higher time frame, because you can see we have a sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, etc. It's just too choppy. So I'd rather just go with the buy here. So if you're looking to take the breakout, I'd probably go with the buy. Market's gonna open up in about 20 seconds. If you guys are just joining in, I mentioned I made a slight little adjustment to like this entry that I'm looking for here on the 1 minute. You can see I kind of have like some times kind of split up right here, just between 6:30 and 7:15. I'm gonna look for like one or two entries here regarding they're kind of like liquidity grabs. Basically same as like what I was looking for with the zone entries, except using liquidity the instead of the SRs, which they're both good. It's just it depends on what structure you want to use for entry. So the breakout is currently running right now. It's I think it already hit target. Yeah. So if you take the breakout right there, it's actually still running. It's pushing up to the London high right here. So I mentioned if you're going to take it, I'd probably go with the 10-minute direction, not the 1 minute, because it's so choppy here on the one. ATR is currently at 17, so it's a little slow, but not horrible. So morning CJ, morning Maria, morning Lila. Ed's asking you, are you doing the same for the daily 10-minute entry as well? Um, sorry, what was your question, Ed? For the daily 10-minute entry? So are you talking about liquidity? Because we don't use liquidity or anything for the daily. If you want to rephrase your question, I could answer it. I'm just not sure what your question was. I mean, it wouldn't matter because the daily it didn't it's a different strategy. The daily just uses momentum, so it didn't use liquidity or the SR. Nothing changes with the daily. It's still the same strategy. So it's gonna whatever happens first is what I'll take, right? Because if the daily comes up, I'll take the daily. If the break and retest comes up first, I'll take it. Because if they overlap and they come up at the same time, I can't take both trades, right? Because I'm already in one, so I can't add another one on top. Um, so it's either I'm gonna look for maybe two of these 1 minute scalps, or I'm gonna be taking the daily because I can't get into both at the same time. They're going to be using the same amount of risk. Because basically, two of these would be 120 profit potential, 60-point stop loss potential, and then the daily would be 150 to 75. So they're about the same. It's like one or the other. The reason why I'm trying to shift over to that is because the daily hasn't really been coming. I mean, it's been coming up, but it's like, once or twice a week. So that's why I have this cutoff between um, 629 and 715, because if it doesn't come up between here and it goes past it, then we'll probably take the daily after. So, all right, I'll be looking for entry here. So there's a couple different criteria that I'm looking for. I'm looking for like a couple liquidity levels to kind of stack up on top of each other. Um, and the liquidity has to show up after, like between this window right here. That's why I have these lines marked up. It's between the small window between 629 and 715. So right now, we don't really have any liquidity that has came up here yet. And the reason why I'm using liquidity here again is because liquidity is going to show the direction of price, right? So for example, if we have a sell liquidity, sell liquidity, sell liquidity, it's going to tell us that price is pushing down, right? If we have three buy liquidities pushing up, then we're like, okay, we have the direction of price pushing up. Um, Liquidity is going to help a lot to determine like what the short-term direction is versus using the trend, right? Because the trend takes forever for it to really flip over. Like for example, right here, price is below the pivots, but it's still bullish because this can just show that price is going to swing back up. But these pivots aren't going to flip over until like way later. So, all right, guys, just gotta do a little update over here with my hedge client accounts. Again, I'm looking for these 1 minute entries. The time window is going to be between 6:30 and 7:15, similar to like what Siege does with the bot. And then after that, I'll look for the 10-minute, or yeah, if we don't get these initial entries in. Okay, who's missing here? Um, man, I hate when these. So I'm looking at my hedge client accounts. I'm trying to make sure all the accounts are actually on here. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 new client accounts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. Got these set up. Got this set up. Gotta change this to 60, 30, 60. I think I'm good. All right, guys. So I'm looking for a liquidity here to produce and show up. We haven't had a liquidity here yet, so I mean it's really just a waiting game. We have until 7:15, so I'm just gonna be hanging out until we get some liquidity come up over here. If you guys are looking to take some entries, there's not really much to take here at the moment. Mm, Let me see. I'm gonna look over here at the SR zones. Just trying to see if there's any SR entries that may have came up while we've been kind of waiting here. So let's see. Not really. I mean, we had one right here technically, but it's kind of messy. Let me see if this here would have played out or set up properly. I mean, technically, I wouldn't take it though. You guys can see how choppy it is right now. This is why I like the liquidity better than the SR, because the SR will provide you a lot of opportunities or a lot of entries, but they're not always going to be great. So if you are looking to get into an SR entry here, there's technically one setting up like if this candle closes below it, 'cause it's breaking below the structure. The thing I didn't like about the SR, well, I like the SR, but the thing I didn't like about it in a sense was that it wouldn't be like a set TP stop loss every time. So if this candle here closes below, which it looks like it's going to, meaning if it closes below, or actually it wouldn't even be, there we go. It's got to close below this point right here, which it looks like it's going to. This would be the SR entry that we've been talking about, zone to zone. Problem is candle's so big that it might have to retrace back a little bit before it actually comes down. So I have this marked up right here. This is an SR zone to zone entry. What we're looking for is for price here to push down to this Asia low. But like I said, this candle here is pretty big, so it might retrace up before it comes down further. So the retest would happen off this structure right here, actually. That's where the entry would be because it broke past this structure. You're looking for it to retest it and then come back down to push down to this lower Asia low right here. So initially, this is the strategy that I was kind of looking at before. Like I mentioned before, I don't really like well, I mean, I like it, but I don't like it as much as liquidity because the liquidity here, it just makes more logical sense because we have when we're using look man, fucking keeps disconnecting. Um, the reason why I like the liquidity more than the SR is that we have confirmation of like direction before we actually jump into a position, right? With the SR zones or the zone to zone strategy, you're kind of jumping in already. without confirming the direction because the trend here hasn't confirmed to the downside yet. So if we had levels of liquidity right here, so these red boxes, if we had like 3 or 4 red boxes showing up down here, showing that liquidity was really pushing down and it was really not letting up, then in that situation, I'd be looking like for an entry for me to ride this down lower. But because we don't have that yet, I'm not looking to jump into that. So if you guys are just joining in, um, I mentioned that I'm shifting over a little bit to um, I'm shifting over from doing zone to zone, which there's nothing wrong with zone to zone, to using liquidity. It's just a different type of structure. So instead of using the SR zones, I'm now using liquidity instead. It's the same thing, right? So if I turn off the SRs, you have the liquidity structure. If I turn off the SRs and turn on just liquidity, or if I turn off liquidity, I just have the SRs, then we just have the SR structure, right? So like I said, I'm looking to take liquidity versus SR because it gives us a better idea of like when price is actually moving. The problem with the SR zones is that see how price here is chopping up? It doesn't help us identify that there's chop, right? The SR zones just tell you when price is breaking structure. The thing I like about liquidity here is that when it creates a liquidity zone, it identifies that, okay, price is pushing up, creates liquidity, pushes up higher, creates liquidity. And then when it breaks through liquidity like it's doing right now, if price is to push past this area, see how the liquidity is disappearing? And the liquidity is no longer there, this shows that the buyers are starting to take control, right? Versus if I have just the SR levels up, the SR levels don't go anywhere. So the SR levels are good in a I'd say ranging market because you can catch the bounces. Like price could fake out right here and then come back below and come back to the next zone. But liquidity, when market's directional, seeing it now we have a liquidity level right here, right? So this big green zone. Now this is confirming that okay, we have directional bias here. Or not yet, but it's starting to set up. So we have one level of liquidity there. If price pushes up again further, and then we have another level of liquidity there, and then price pushes up further, and we have another level of liquidity here, then I can take my entry somewhere up here, right? Because if we have like another level of liquidity right here, then I could catch that retest to the upside. So same concept, it's a break and retest type pattern. It's just using different structure for entry. And I'm looking for 1 to 2 entries. So we have one level of liquidity right here already. Let's put this first. I'm looking for 3. So on the third one's where I'm gonna look for entry because we'll have confirmation of like a directional bias to the upside. So this might make sense to some of you, might not. I mean, if it doesn't make sense to you, it's completely fine. You'll understand once I keep doing this and I start identifying it more. But I'm basically looking for multiple levels of liquidity so I can confirm the direction. We have a directional trend here, but I want liquidity to establish. I want it to establish. And then on the third leg, I'm gonna look for my entry somewhere up here. So what I want here is I want another level of liquidity. So I got the first level here. I mean, technically, if you want to be risky, you could get in on the first level. Obviously just write it up from there if it does come back and retest, but I'm looking for a second one and I'm looking for the third one. So I want the second one to come up. And then when the third one comes up, then I'll be looking to get my entry from there. And then my trade window from this is between 6:30 and 7:15. The reason why I'm looking between 6:30 and 7:15 is because the volatility is just it really just sits around these first 15-ish or 15 to 30 minutes or so. Yeah, the volatility and right here, now we have the second level of liquidity coming up, right? Just what I just said. There's a couple different level. There's some criteria that I'm looking for though. Like if the level's too small, I'm not going to use it for entry at least. Like for this right here, I wouldn't use this level as an entry. This would just be as a confirmation, but not used for actual entry. So see what I just mentioned? Now we have bullish bias now. Right, we already have bullish bias from the trend meter. We have bullish bias from the trend, but what I like to see here is from actual active liquidity. So we got the second level there. Now I'm looking for the third one. Once I have that third one, I'll be looking to jump in. I got to be acting quick because this happens. It happens pretty quick. So what I want here is I want this level to hold. It's got to hold. If it doesn't hold, then there's not going to be an entry here. The ATR is currently at 30 right now. It's not super duper high. So I might have to adjust my stop loss and target to something tighter, 40-20 maybe. But we'll see. I mean, we're just gonna keep waiting. Red flags still apply. What else? Yeah, there's not too much for red flags still apply. So I'm waiting for here is I'm waiting for the third level. I got first level, got the second level. Now I'm looking for the third level. That third level is gonna be my entry point. iPhone's asking if the TP stop loss is 60-30. Yeah, 60-30. Well, it depends on the ATR. Right now, it's currently at 30 ATR. So, I mean, I'm going to go in initially with the 60-30. If I have to adjust it to 40-20, then I'll do that. But yeah, I'm still going to go for 60-30 right now because the ATR is currently at 32. It doesn't look like it's going to get slower. Here we go. So we have the third level right here, guys, but it's too small. This is what I was just talking about, right? If it's too small, I'm not going to use it. This is technically the third level. If you guys want to get in on this, feel free. For my testing, the third level is not great. Or I mean, sorry, not third level. The if the level is smaller than 10 points, it's not great because what could happen here is price will just wipe it out very quickly, right? Because there's not enough space for it to retest. If it retests, it's probably going to blast right through it and come back below. But basically, the pattern you're looking for here is it created a third level liquidity. You're looking for it to come down and grab liquidity. So the way that the strategy works and the logic behind it, okay, perfect. So we have another level right here. This is exactly what I was looking for. Now this one's looking a little better because it's a little bigger. All right, let's see. Let me measure it real quick. All right, this could work. So entry's going to be right there, somewhere around there. 483. Okay, so I'm gonna look for this here to close, and it'll close in about 30 seconds. 47. It's got to fill pretty quickly. If it doesn't fill right away, then I'm probably going to cancel it. 47.53. Yeah, I don't know if this will fill right away because it's kind of high. 47.53.
Order submitted. Or
Oh wait, that's not right. It's 47.83. Honestly, you might have to move it up to this higher level, so I might just cancel it pretty soon. 47.110.
order canceled.
All right. So I'm looking for it right here. This is going to be kind of tricky because it's going to be at the sessions. I'm gonna have to change this, or I'm gonna have to watch it manually.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I gotta cancel it actually. Sorry guys, I had to cancel the order right there because it was at the sessions. I didn't realize when I scrolled up right here, it's a little too close. If you guys still want to get into it, I mean, feel free. It's currently right there. But see how I mentioned the red flags are still important. Luckily, I canceled it in time because it almost filled right there. The red flags are still important because you can see right here, we got close to the sessions right there, and it would have been, I mean, this would trade would have been bad because it would have reversed on us right here. So I canceled my orders just in time, didn't get into it. But you guys get the concept, right? So the concept is very simple. I'm looking for a price to establish a direction. The reason right here why this would have, well, this is the main reason why I avoid the sessions is because now price is overextended, right? We had first level, second level, third level, fourth level. There's no retest on any of these levels here. So basically pushed up, pushed up, pushed up. And I was looking for price to push up again right here and then push up higher. The problem is we had the sessions right here. And whenever price gets near the sessions, we get price manipulation. That's why the red flags are still very important. So these buys over here are pretty much for the most part invalidated. You can see how now it's starting to invalidate. It's coming down to grab liquidity now at this point, right? So there's two things that happen with liquidity. It's either going to grab it and bounce off it, or it's going to reverse and push right through it, right? And then pretty much wipe out those levels of liquidity. So luckily I canceled that one out. We're now starting to flip the other way. So initially we were looking for buys here. Now we might start to be looking for sells at this point. There's no confirmation yet, but we do have one level of liquidity right here. So if that's the case, this might be flipping to the downside. We're getting closer to 7:15, so as we get closer to this point in time, we might have to switch back to the 10-minute daily entry. The 10-minute daily entry is going to be for a sell. So you guys are you starting to understand like how this makes sense? So the reason why we're doing this for the 1 minute is because we have the initial direction, right? And then once we hit 7:15 or somewhere later in the session, price tends to reverse the other way. So right here now for the 10-minute, if we don't get this entry between 6:30 and 7:15, then price starts to flip the other way. So initially it pushed up here for a buy, and then now that the buys here are exhausted, it's not going to flip the other way. Well, not yet, but eventually it's going to flip the other way, and that's where this 10-minute entry is going to come in handy. Because the initial 30 minutes to 1 hour, it's going to be directional one way, and then it'll probably come back and grab liquidity the other way. So no entry for me yet right there. I got to pay attention to these sessions because these are really important to pay attention to. As you guys know, the sessions over here are going to act either as a reversal point or as a target, like a magnet. So see right here, price is now pushing back up further. There's one of two things that are going to happen here. Price is either going to invalidate this liquidity and continue climbing up to the sessions like that, or it's going to do a full-on reversal right here, or it might push up, reject off the sessions, and then come back down. Or it might even start turning from right here. I mean, either way, we don't have enough liquidity here to trade in either direction. So what we could get here is we might be able to still get buy entries. What I'm going to look for here is if this invalidates this red box of liquidity, we still have two levels of liquidity right here, right? So we have this first one and the second one. So if that's the case, price may push up and validate this upper level liquidity, push back up right here. Man, I'm getting a ton of connection issues on NinjaTrader. I'm not sure if you guys are getting it too, but you guys can probably hear it in the background. I keep getting connection loss like every every minute, it sounds like. Usually if NinjaTrader does that, it's a sign. It's a sign that something weird is happening in the market. And the market is moving a little weird right now. If you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys are very familiar about NinjaTrader when it has connection issues. It's just forever, whenever there's a connection issue that keeps repeating itself and it's not stable, it usually indicates that something weird is happening in the market or the market's going to be very flat or choppy. Um, yeah, and for those of you who are a hedge fund client guys, if you guys are still an industry trader and you haven't transitioned to StoneX, just keep in mind that StoneX is going to have priority. So with these entries here on the 1 minute, the reason why I moved to the 10-minute before is because we didn't have enough time to enter the positions, right? But if I'm entering these positions on the 1 minute, StoneX is going to get the first entry. So if you guys haven't moved over to StoneX, I highly recommend you do. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. Just understand that there may be some trades where you're going to miss the entry. Because I may place the entry with StoneX, and then if it fails before I can place the entry on NinjaTrader, then the entry just won't be taken. So just something to keep in mind, guys. Uh, there's always going to be one that's first, but it's not going to be a big delay. I mean, it's not going to be a big lag time between, but StoneX is going to be executed first every time I take the entry. All right, still nothing here yet. You guys can see this is very choppy. Well, not even choppy, it's just flat. So right here, we just got a bunch of flat candles, about 5 minutes of no movement. And I mentioned that when, right before this happened, that NinjaTrader kept disconnecting. You guys can see there's a lot of unusual price movement here. We had a huge red candle pop up out of nowhere. This was how big was it? Almost a 100-point candle out of nowhere. Just pretty much wiped out liquidity. And then price just got completely flat right here. I was really hoping we get one of these break and retest type entries here, but I don't know if we're going to get one. It's 7:54 right now. We're getting closer to 7 o'clock. Like I said, my cutoff for these 1 minute scalps is going to be between 7:30 and 7:15. There was an MPS entry right here if anybody got into that. So we had a buy signal, retracement. So there's one MPS entry right there. This is actually an MPSPA. I don't know if anybody looked to get into that. Yeah, Daniel's not here right now. He's the one that typically looks to take that MPSPA. But this entry right here was an MPS plus an MPSPA. Nice work, Nikki. So Nikki caught that right there. Talon, you said he's been holding the buy from the MPS to see what your liquidity strat would do. Nice. Okay, a lot took the MPS too. Perfect. Nice work, guys. Yeah, it's hard to, so, I always talk about this that like it's difficult to apply different strategies because if you're looking for different things, you're going to miss certain other strategies, right? So that's going to be the benefit, hopefully sooner than later, with the bot once Message is done with it. Because yeah, it's basically impossible, guys. I mean, for you to apply like five strategies at once on the 1 minute, if it was on the higher time frame, different story. But on the 1 minute, um, yeah, tricky because it happens so quickly. So you guys can use the same analysis that I was using, right? So for example, we had a bunch of liquidity setting up right here. If you guys saw that MPS setup right there, that would have been a nice setup because we had like multiple levels of liquidity pushing up. So if you don't have to use this as a break and retest strategy like I'm using, you can also use the liquidity as a directional bias, right? So if you have a bunch of liquidity on the bottom and it's starting to produce, then you can use that to look for buys. And then vice versa, if you have a bunch of sell liquidity come up to the downside, you can use that to look for sells, right? So there's a lot of different ways to use my tools, my analysis, stuff like that. It's just you have to figure out what works for you. All right, so we have a third level right here, guys, of liquidity. The problem with this here is that we're right at the sessions, right? Right at the sessions. So I'm not taking this here. I mean, if you guys want to take it, again, you can set it up if you like, but for my testing, the sessions usually are not good for the entry. So what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for another level of liquidity up here. I'll be looking to take my entry somewhere up here, which is still very possible. It's just a matter of time. iPhone's asking, have you taken any more sports bets lately? How many do you take per week? I take about 1 to 2 per day. iPhone. Yeah, 1 to 2 per day. Just whatever's high probability. I usually have one that's like very high probability, and then I have another one that's higher profitability. There's like they usually balance each other out. Yeah, here are the stats for I created a spreadsheet for I'll share with you guys later, but these are the stats. So I've taken 12 bets so far for this month. I mean the bets just started on March 10th where I started recording it. So we didn't have the whole month documented, but from what I have, these are all the plays that are posted on the Discord. So these are like they've been called like live and they've been established. Well, I've called more since like last month, but I just don't have them on the Discord because I just created the Discord. But currently, so far out of 12 bets, it's a 75% win rate as a 4.01 unit wins. ROI is about 25%. main bet that I take is like money line. I play a lot of NBA games. So if you guys understand how the units work, if you were trading 1,000 per game, so like 1,000, it'd be 401, 4.01 times 1,000. That's how much profit you would have made taking all the 12 bets. If you were trading $100, right? So 4.01 times 100, that's how much profit you would make. So the units are based off like whatever your average betting size is. So it's pretty cool. I created this spreadsheet. It's gonna have all like once I have more data, it's gonna populate more. But this is all I have for now, basically from the 10th up until the 14th, basically just last week. All right, guys, we have another level of liquidity here. Again, if you guys want to take it at the sessions, you guys can. I wouldn't recommend taking it, but if you do want to take it at the sessions, it's there for you. Let's see, Steven over here just posted. Steven, why are you sharing your stuff here, bro? Don't share your account number and stuff like that on the thing. Yeah. Okay, Steven. Yeah, no, it's cool. I see that it works. But yeah, don't post that stuff on here, bro. If you're gonna post something, send it to me privately. Yeah, Steven's excited. He wants to take the sports bets. All right, Steven. So I guess I'll post the source bets today. Just make sure you're on the Discord, Steven, on the other one. I mean, you are, so I think you should be good. But yeah, I know, but you're sending it here on like I didn't know what you sent me, Steven. Usually when you send stuff here on Zoom, you're usually sending your trading profits. I wasn't expecting you to send your account information, bro. You should have told me what you were sending. Every time you post something on Zoom, it's always your profits. That's why I figured I clicked on it and I was like, okay, Steven's showing me his profits from the MPS. But then you sent me like your whole account number, bro, for your betting account. Yeah. All right, Steven. So it looks like Steven's gonna take his first bet today. So good luck to you, Steven. Hopefully it plays out well. I'll post the bets later. I haven't ran my AI yet. I'll run the AI. I like to run the AI like mid-morning because it'll have all of the odds and stuff updated. All right, so we have price coming back below. You guys can see the fake out that I was mentioning right here. Price pretty much pushed above the sessions and it faked out below. Um, all right, so we got price. I'm looking for liquidity. So what I want to see here actually is I want price to bounce off here and push back up. Again, if you use this lower level over here for your liquidity entry, the break and retest, it's currently active and running. Again, I wouldn't take this lower level because there's a sessions right there. What I'm actually looking for is I'm looking for price to push back above, create a new level of liquidity up here so that I can trade above this area. I want to trade past the sessions. I don't want it to be anywhere near the sessions. So I want price to keep pushing up here and validate this, and it's going to mitigate that sell liquidity there. I need it to push up here and then retest from here so I can take my entry at some point up here. There we go. So you guys can see the buyers are in control, right? We have multiple levels of liquidity right here. One level, two level, three level. I'm not taking these levels right here. If you guys took that lower level that I mentioned, which is right here, I think it's already hit target right there, 60 points. But like I said, I'm not taking any trades here at the sessions. I'm waiting for price to create a new level up here, and that's what I'm gonna be watching out for. There's no sessions up here, so we're pretty much free. There's another level right here, but I'm not going to take this one. Like I said, it's still within the sessions. I mean, this is pretty much what I was looking for, but I didn't want it to be touching the sessions. What I've looked at and what I've found from my statistics is that if the liquidity is within the sessions, it's still an area of manipulation. Like this box of liquidity has to be completely outside of the sessions. But we have four levels here, so this is a nice confluence that price is likely to continue pushing up higher. iPhone's asking, so the RR for sports bet is around, no. Um, where'd you get that number from? iPhone or RR? These are, so if you took all 12 trades, your units would be four. There's no 4 RR here. Um, Have you sports bet before? I'm assuming you haven't. Because there's no, it's not like trading. There's no like 1 to 2 RR. It depends on the odds of the game. If the game's like high probability one way, it's going to be negative risk reward. Usually the games are going to be negative risk reward if if you're familiar with sports betting. You don't have like a 2R. I mean, if you're playing a parlay, yeah, but you're going to lose most of those bets. So I'm mainly doing straight bets, high probability straight bets. So have you sports bet before iPhone? I want to understand so I know how to explain it to you. Because if you've never sports bet, this is going to be completely different from like probably what you're used to. Yeah, sports betting, you don't usually have a positive RR. It's always going to be negative. That's why a lot of people don't like sports betting because you could have a roll and then, you can really, like the thing with sports betting, and I talked about this with Masij because we're going to look to maybe automate some stuff, is, uh, is it's like we transition the same thing from trading over to sports betting. Like my risk management from trading, where I take 1 or 2 trades per day, it's the same thing if it transitions to sports betting. The problem with sports betting for a lot of people is that they don't know how to like set that type of risk, right? They like to take a bunch of trades, they like to take a bunch of parlays. There's different types of bets when you're trading or when you're playing sports betting. So the thing with sports betting is that the books are never going to be on your side. I mean, you're never going to find like that positive risk reward, like if like what you mentioned, iPhone. That's why I'm like wondering if you've done it before because it's gonna everything's gonna be negative versus reward basically. So instead of 1 to 2, it's gonna be like a 2 to 1. Like all my sports bets are like they probably have like a 60 to 70% probability. Okay, yeah. So here iPhone just thanks for giving me that information. So iPhone said I haven't. So if I put 200 per bet, how much would the win loss be for each bet, or does it vary? It varies because the odds are different per game. If the game is more balanced, it'll be closer to like if you bet 200, you get 180. So it's more of like a 2 to 1.8. It just depends on the odds. If you guys follow the odds over here, so I mean if you follow my page over here, I post the odds and it depends on your sports book too. Each sports book is going to be slightly different. So for example, these are like the bets from yesterday. And if it's like so if it's above 200, it's going to be like a 2 to 1. If it's like at 170, it's going to be a little bit higher. Like these are the odds basically. So they're always different. iPhone. Like usually I don't go for anything that's very high. Like anything above like 250, I usually don't because that's going to be less than a 2 to 1. But if you do like something around 200, this will be like close to 2 to 1. There's a formula to it. You divide this whole number by your bet and it'll tell you how much you're looking to make. And you can do research on that. It's just basically the odds are different. To make things simple, it's always going to be different and it's always going to be negative for the most part. That's how sports books make their money, right? Because the thing is they're kind of betting on you to not keep your consistency. Like for me, I have a consistency of 1 to 2 trades per day. Some people will go from like 1 to 2 trades to like 20 trades, right? And then they like might get lucky. But if they lose more than they win, then they're for sure not going to be profitable. So yeah, it's going to vary. This is an example of like what I have here, but there's some games that have like negative like 300. Like if you're betting on like a UFC fight or a boxing fight and it's super, super one-sided, like the thing with sports, with like basketball, hockey, stuff like that, it's never going to be like extremely one-sided, right? Unless like the team sucks, but then they wouldn't be like a national team. But if you're betting on something like soccer, or that's why I don't really bet on soccer or boxing or UFC or stuff like that, stuff that's like super, super one-sided because you'll have the odds super, super bad. So if you want to bet like 200, your payout could be like 20 bucks. So yeah, that's why like my AI, it only looks for very high probability plays, like games for the day. So the odds are usually going to be around like 2 to 1, negative risk reward. But because the win rates is pretty high, as long as you stick to the game plan, you don't like over leverage or take too many bets at once, you should be able to kind of balance out to be in profit long term. Yeah, the thing I like about sports betting is that it's very set and forget, right? Like I'll post up the games and then I just take my wagers and then I'm done for the day basically. With regard to the sports betting, I just wait until the end of the day for the games to be done. Versus trading, we have to sit here for like an hour or 2 hours, whatever, wait for the entries to come up. A lot of times they don't even come up. Like for example, the entry for today, I don't think this is going to come up, right? It's 708 right now. Unless we start to get a bullish push right here, maybe we'll get it. Okay, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but yeah, we have about 5 minutes here until 7:15. Once this time has been done with, I'm gonna go back to the 10 minute and I'm gonna look for that daily entry. But yeah, like I was talking about earlier, sports betting is very similar. Well, any type of betting is similar to trading, right? As long as you can transition your mindset, your trade psychology, your risk management to the other type of game, you can be good at it. I was just talking to Masij about this yesterday. Like I'm looking for, well, not really looking, but I'm looking at other ways to make money, like use my money to make money, like not I wouldn't say gambling, but yeah, basically in a sense gambling, right? So like I day trade sports betting now. I'm thinking about maybe getting to into some kind of swing trading as well. But then again, the swing trading stuff, that stuff takes a long time too. I want to use the least amount of time to make the most amount of money using the same concepts that I've been using here for trading. Like at least for day trading, we're trading for about an hour and a half in the morning, 6:30 to 8:30. And then for sports betting, I just have to put in my bets. So that doesn't take very long. Swing trading, I've been wanting to do more swing trading, but I also don't want to be on the chart all the time. Right. A lot of people say that swing trading is easy and you just set and forget. Yeah, you set and forget once you take the actual entry, but like once you're analyzing for that entry, you still have to be on the chart like every couple hours, which is super annoying. Like when I used to trade on the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame closes every 4 hours, right? But I had to be on the chart every 4 hours to just confirm if my entry was gonna fill or not. Um, so yeah, swing trading is good once you're in the position, but waiting for the position, it's always a mess. It's always a mess because in some instances it's honestly even more work than regular trading or day trading. All right, so we have the entry here actually setting up, guys. Entry is going to be right here. I'm probably going to set it at 200. Just give me some little cushion there. So 47,200 is like where I'm going to place my buy limit, or maybe not. Okay, actually, never mind. It might be lower, or it might not even, this thing might just invalidate it right away. We might not even have the zone there. Okay, never mind. I take that back, guys. I'm not taking this right here. The zone is way too small. Yeah, it's gonna get wiped out. Okay, so there's no zone there. All right, so I was really looking forward to take that trade there, but it's not looking like we're gonna get it. 7:12, we got a few minutes. I don't think we're gonna get the entry here, guys. So I'm gonna shift things back to the daily entry if we do get that. So yeah, I just don't think we're gonna get anything here between 7:12 and 7:15. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mark up the structure here in the higher time frames to see if we have a nice setup for our daily entry. So we got some structure right here. Gonna see like if we have any confirmations or anything that like could be useful to us. I mean, I probably don't have to go this far down, but whatever. It is what it is. Go down to the 8 hour. All right, yeah. So we're not getting entry here for that. I was really hoping to show you guys an example today. I guess we did have an example right here. Price did break and retest at this point below, but I mean, obviously, I get into it because of the sessions, but this is an example. So I guess I'll just show you guys this as an example. This is what I'll be looking for again tomorrow. So like basically we had three zones here, 1, 2, 3. We had a price push up, retest that area right there and then came back up. Only reason I didn't take this one was because of the sessions, which is very important. Like there's gonna be trades like this where it'll hit sometimes, but a lot of times from my experience and what I've seen is that the sessions they're not good. They should be avoided. So, okay, I've marked up structure right here. I'm probably not going to mark up these upper level structures, or I guess I can just do it for demonstrational purposes so you guys know what to look for. So what I'm looking for here is I'm just looking for areas to possibly look for any confluences for our daily entry, for price to come down, of course. We're currently at a resistance or a supply zone, or we're rejecting off it actually. So I'll show you guys in a second. Right. I mean, price is going to be in this daily resistance, so I don't think there's going to be much to work with here. Um, I probably don't even have to go any lower because we already have. Okay, I'll leave it as is right now. Let's go back to the 10-minute here. Or maybe it should be useful. Not really. All right, so I'm just marking up structure here. I think we're good. I don't have to mark all that up, but let me just clean this up, take this off. So we're currently in the daily resistance right now. This is it's a zone. I don't know if it was a resistance or a support, but you guys can see how price is respecting these zones perfectly. This is from the higher time frame. So I went down from the daily down to the 8 hour, down to the 4 hour, down to the 2 hour, down to the 1 hour, down to the 30-minute, and now we're looking at possibilities of setups here on the 10-minute. So the sells here could be good because we currently have price rejecting off this daily resistance. So you guys can see there's a lot of rejections right here, right? It's been holding this resistance for a while. So price is pushing down. So what I'm looking for here for the daily entries, I'm looking for a sell signal, right? I'm looking for a sell signal here to come up. Once that sell signal comes up, I'm gonna look for possible opportunity for entry to ride this down about 150 points. So I'm still looking for that daily entry today. It's just we need to get that that sell signal to come up, which we don't have yet. So yeah, basically I'm looking for price to reject off this daily resistance and then possibly come down, provide me opportunity for entry. There's actually a nice setup right here because if price does push down quite a bit, then we'll have opportunity for it to push down to the next level right here, right? To retest this support level. I don't know what time frame the support level is marked up on, but it's a higher time frame, of course, because I went from the daily down to the 30-minute. So if we do get a sell entry here, it'll probably fill liquidity from this point. So the daily entry could be good if we get it. Again, it's a big if we get it, right? I don't forget it, maybe. Let's do some structure right there, some structure within structure. So see how it's faking out? This is actually a nice setup. Price broke above structure here. Now it's faking back out below it. So I'll be looking for that daily entry if possible, but as of now, we just don't have anything at the moment. You guys can see how messy it is here now. I'll probably look for some more of those liquidity break and retest if possible, if price continues to climb in a certain direction. But like I said, my cutoff for this is between 6:30 and 7:15. The reason for that is because look how volatility here is starting to die out, right? We had the initial volatility push here for the first 30 minutes to an hour, and then look what happened now. Price is starting to flatten out, and we're just getting a bunch of chop here. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. This is I have these parameters in place for a reason. I'm not randomly saying I'm going to stop trading at 7:15. I'm stopping at 7:15 because the market tends to go flat between 7:15 and 8. And that's pretty much what's happening here right now. So, well, let's see. See, Vince said, do you think he took do you think the recent higher high, lower low reversal would be good at 9:03? Let's see. So 9:03 or 7:03, I guess, your time. Uh, I don't see any higher high reversals here. Here, let me just, I'll analyze events. So, okay, 9:03. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about this one right here, right? So this right here wouldn't be a higher high reversal. It'd have to have a big wick. So it'd have to be a higher high with a big wick on top. That's what Messiges looks for. And then let me see. Looking over here, 7:0. I'm assuming this one right here you're talking about, right? This lower low. Yeah, same thing right here. Like it would have to be a higher high with a big wick and like an opposite body. So let me see if I could find an example. I know you guys are not familiar with the strategy, so it's fine, Vince. I mean, I wasn't expecting you to know it because we never look at that strategy, right? This could possibly be a higher high reversal. See how like we have a higher high and it's a big wick and a body's pushing to the downside. This would be an example of a higher high, lower low reversal. But the ones that you identified, the bodies are pretty strong, so you wouldn't be able to identify that as reversal, right? This is more of a push higher. Yeah. So quick answer to your question is no for this one, no for this one. And unfortunately, no for this one. But you guys, you get the concept, right, Vince? You're basically looking for like something like this. Well, this isn't a higher high. Yeah, I mean it's all good, bro. I'm glad you asked that so I can explain it to you, so you won't take it by mistake. I know it looked like a reversal here because price pushed down, but it really just pushed down because price is choppy, not necessarily because it's an actual reversal. Yeah, so if you guys are looking for that, that would be like the type of setup you'd be looking for. So basically, you're just looking for a higher high or a lower low with a big wick. Now that I have liquidity marked up, if price bounces off liquidity, that could be another confluence for you. But again, guys, see how price here is going flat after 7:15? This is again another reminder of why I don't trade or why I'm not looking for the trade after 7:15. My cutoff is 7:15. Basically, market open from 6:30 to 7:15 because we have the directional push here. And then after it gets closer to 7:15, it just goes flat, right? So there's a reason for everything I do when I trade, guys. I'm not just like randomly setting a specific time, like, oh, I'm done trading at 7:15. At some point in the future, if we get more volatility and it keeps pushing out, maybe we'll push this out to 7:30, right? Maybe full 8 o'clock. But right now, 7:15 is a time period. And this is the time window where there's direction and there's movement. All right, so it's a pretty slow Monday today, guys. I mean, not initially it was pretty nice and directional, but now it's pretty slow. So again, this is uh, with my liquidity analysis, this is going to help you guys with directional moves too, right? So like for example, the MPS entry, this would have been easiest spot because we had the liquidity below pushing up. Actually created a new indicator. I don't know if it's on here right now. Not really a new indicator, but it's an improvement from the momentum. It's kind of messy, but I'm still trying to figure out how to use it properly. So I don't know why the box hasn't came up, but let's see. I think a candle has to close. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, um, I've been kind of working on the momentum indicator. I mean, this looks super messy, but you guys can see over here, I kind of have like this stuff. It's been kind of hard building like this tool with TradingView because it's so limited. Masij actually doesn't even use TradingView anymore. He does it. He created his own separate platform to be able to catch order flow and like stuff like that. So my order flow is not it's not very clean um because TradingView just doesn't give you level two data. So you can get real order flow here. So people ever talk about doing order flow on TradingView, they're lying because you can't. but I'm using volume and different analytics to identify this. So like looking at this right here, you guys can see the order flows for a buy. We have the liquidity is pretty even, 25, 24. Plus rake's low. It's a reversal type setup right now because price just keeps going back and forth. The expectancy shows that it's like not a good type of trade. The edge is weak. And this kind of gives us like an understanding of like when or where to trade. So I'm trying to improve the momentum. This is all based off the momentum indicator. It's just based off the momentum indicator, and it's kind of telling us which direction to trade in. And this will go hand in hand with the momentum if you do decide to use it. But yeah, I'm working on stuff behind the scenes, guys. I know I talk about a lot about the sports betting, but the main focus is really still trading. Like sports betting is cool and stuff, and I have that because it's nice to do on the side. It doesn't require much work. But I'm still focused on like the trading side of things. So like, yeah, I'm working on this tool here to kind of help us identify the direction. And we already knew it was a buy. Like, we had the buys kind of lined up for today. But this indicator here is kind of telling us that, the specifics. And I need to figure out, I know how to do it. I've seen other people do it, how to get level 2 data on here, but I need to figure out how to get it so that it works with this tool. So these statistics here are based off the previous candle I just closed. So it's going to change every minute. And I can kind of change it up over here as well. Maybe go on like a higher time frame. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys like a little sneak peek of this right here. Um, Basically all of this data is for the most recent candle. So when this candle here closes in the next 20 seconds, these numbers here are going to change. And this is how you can make quick decisions based off like whatever statistics you have and data that you have there. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into that because there's just it's gonna take me forever to actually discuss that. It's a tool. It's a little too complex for the normal trader. Um, and that's like version 30 of it. I keep updating it every day or every couple days with like new things that could help with it. But yeah, in the future, once that there is kind of set up, I'm gonna work with Siege on it. That's gonna be implemented into the bot as well. So yeah, we're always looking for ways to improve. Um, and as long as you guys stick around, you guys should be able to reap the benefits of it. I really just want the the bot to be available. Once that bot's available, it's gonna be so useful. I'm gonna try to explain the strategy to Siege. Maybe we could add this strategy into the bot as well. It's a really good one. Um, And again, some people are asking like why I'm kind of shifting strategies around a little bit. Like for example, the MPS here is a perfectly good strategy. The reason why I'm shifting to like what I'm using now is because I need to use limit orders for my entries. That's the biggest problem. So for this entry over here, for the MPS, it would have been impossible for me to set a limit order because it went up right away, right? So limit orders just wouldn't work for the MPS unless you're doing like the original MPS where it pulls back 10 points. Either way, if you're doing that, it's still, I mean, it probably still wouldn't have filled here. Be a little too close. Let's see. Steven's asking, so Chicago Bulls versus Memphis Grizzly. I mean, possibly if the odds are good. Chess betting, you could bet on nearly anything, Steven. The thing with like those smaller sports or like the kind of random things like chess betting is that you don't have statistics on the player unless you're able to have some sort of edge. The AI pulls the technical data, the fundamental data, the breaking news, and the quantitative data, and then it spits out the probabilities of the games for the day. So let me do that real quick. So as we wait here, I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to go ahead and look up the sports bets for today. So let me activate my AI. So I'm going to go through all the information, and I can tell you what games are probably going to be high probability for the day. All right, I turned my AI on. It is pulling all the data as we speak. All right, I don't know if we're gonna get an entry today, guys. Honestly, I'm looking at the market. Look how flat it is right now. I'm not sure if we're gonna get that 10-minute entry here. You'd have to push down quite a bit, provide the sell signal, and then look for opportunity there. Let's take a look at all the indexes. So right now, gold is bearish, NQ, ES, YM, they're all bullish, but they're kind of pulling back right now. So for the most part, everything here is flat. ES is flat, NQ's flat, NQ's YM, NQ, ES is all flat, and gold is coming down right here. See, that's another thing that I like about sports betting is that there's always going to be a game, right? There's always going to be something to bet on. With trading, this is where it differs a little bit, is that, I mean, there's technically always going to be an entry that you can take as well, but a lot of days there's just going to be nothing to take, like today, right? Trying to see if there's any other entries here that could have been taken, like anything that I might have missed out on. There's one right here that was a higher high. There was no retest. Like I said, I'm doing limit orders, so the retest wouldn't have happened or it wouldn't have filled. Yeah, I don't really see any other entries here. Aside from the MPS, that's probably the only good one that I see there. Possible breakout over here if we went for 40 point. I mean, depends on what your target TP stop loss would be for the breakout. Because it pushed to about 54 points before it reversed down
Connection.
and swung back up. If you guys can hear my Ninja Trader in the background, it's still disconnecting, guys. So it's been doing this since open. Kind of hinted us that the market was going to be weird today. Like ever since market opened up at 6:30, I've been getting disconnects like almost every minute. And then it stopped for a bit, and now it's disconnecting again. And that kind of it saved us from getting caught up in this choppy market right here. Right. All right, here's a clean chart. I actually drew up this structure from last Friday, guys. Price is still in the same structure as last week. I didn't even clean it up. So price respected the structure from last week almost perfectly. That's kind of crazy how it did that, right? So price pulled back into this area last night or this morning, and it pretty much respected the same area and zones that we had marked up from last Friday. Go figure. So realistically, price hasn't gone anywhere since last Friday. These are from our live session on Friday right here. I drew this up and price has not gone anywhere. It's kind of just sitting in the same place. What I am curious about right now is I'm curious about Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin's still sitting around 73. I was just wondering what price it was at right now. I'll do like a weekly check on like Bitcoin to see where it's at. I still think Bitcoin's gonna drop further. Let me go back to Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's ready to sit where it's at right now. So let's go over here. Let's go to Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin on the 10-minute. Let's go on the daily. Yeah, it's just ranging right here right now. What I can see here from Bitcoin is it looks like it's luring in buyers. It looks like price is going for a bullish run. But I think what's going to happen is as soon as enough people get into this, Bitcoin's just going to dump right back down. It's just going to stick in this range for a bit until I think it drops lower. So like Bitcoin over here. Yeah, I think this is going to lure in some buyers because it broke structure right there. So with it breaking structure, it's just like any other asset, right? It's all manipulation. Price is going to get push up a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of buyers kind of push price up, and then it's going to pull right back into the range, which eventually I think is going to drop even lower. So I think it's going to come down here, break below, maybe come down to 40. It's like the target point, and then push back up, and then maybe come back down, drop you down to 20. The thing with Bitcoin is like there's not enough historical data to really predict where it's going to go next. I mean, you can look back to Bitcoin. None of this stuff's really consistent. It's just whenever it gets pumped up, right? Let's go on the weekly. Yeah. I mean, it's basically like a pump and dump stock in a sense. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that's how it moves. Because there's no historical data. We only have so much data on Bitcoin to really base, any type of analysis on it, really. The thing with Bitcoin is it's all about timing. If you can time it properly, make a lot of money off Bitcoin. The problem is it's still very expensive. So unless you could buy a couple Bitcoin yourself, which most people can't, you're not going to be able to really reap the benefits. You're probably better getting into something else that's smaller, like where's XRP at? I'm curious. XRP has been like the hype forever now. I was even holding XRP, and I never hold X. I don't hold stuff like that. Yeah, the hype pretty much died for XRP too. I mean, yeah, I do see. I mean, I see it, but then I don't see it. There's too many people that talk about XRP, and everyone hypes it up. I don't know. Personally, I don't know if like this will actually push up to like what people mention or say. I bought into XRP almost 2 or 3 years ago, and I held on to it, and this thing was like, bro, every year everyone's like, oh, XRP is gonna come up. Um, is gonna come up, and it just it never comes up. I mean, it came up a little bit right here, like $3, but everyone's like, oh, it's gonna hit 20. It's gonna every summer, like literally every December, everyone's like, oh, buy XRP, it's gonna jump up in the summer. That shit never goes up. And now it actually came all the way back down. I think this is where I bought it at like years ago at 150. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm not gonna knock it. If it gives me if I'm able to pull money from it or like I find opportunity, I'll take it. But as of now, not so much. All right, guys, we have the 10-minute signal here currently pending, so I'm gonna look for possible entry here. All right, so entry might happen somewhere. 4750 is looking like the entry point. Thanks a lot for the heads up on that. Yeah, Steven said I might need he'll probably stop trading Asia session if sports betting makes him happy. Yeah, I mean that could be your alternative, right? I'd rather do sports bets than trade Asia session any day. Yeah. All right, so price over here came down, rejected directly off the sessions. As you guys can see, price is respecting these sessions pretty sharply. So rejected off the session up there, rejected off the session down here. Again, I don't know if we're gonna get that sell signal. There's a pending sell signal here though, so we will be following it. We got about 3 minutes left on this candle. So the sells here could be good, guys. We have 3 levels of liquidity right here. So the sells could be valid. So if it does come down, our first target area is going to be the opening price right here. And then next target area is going to be the Asia low. Take a look at overall bias. Overall bias over here, the higher time frames are a little mixed. So the 4 hour time frame is bearish, 1 hour is bullish neutral. 30 minutes bullish, so you can see prices above the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling up. Lower time frames here are mixed too. 10 minutes bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 1 minute was bullish, it turned bearish now. So I mean, kind of, it's really mixed. Some is bullish, some is bearish. It's kind of all over the place. Let me go over here real quick. I'm going to update the. I mean, everything's neutral for the most part. All right, Steven. So for today's matches, let's see. I'm going to rank them a little real quick. So the safest bet is going to be Suns versus Celtics. The odds are not good, so I'm not going to take that play. It's a negative 375 odds. So you're going to make like $30 on 100. Not really worth it, but the probability of it's really high. The next one is going to be Celtics under. It's going to be a spread bet of negative 8 or under 8.5. So they're looking for a split between that. And it's going to be kind of tricky as well. Moderate edge is going to be Lakers versus Rockets. It's going to be Rockets money line. So the odds on this one are actually pretty good. It's negative 140. So you'll probably make about like $80 on a $100 risk. Money's on the Rockets. And then the most aggressive one's going to be a hockey game. It's going to be NHL Stars money line. So Mammoth versus Stars. So I mean the games today, they're not very high probability, but the odds are better. I mean, the probability is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. Um, I'll post them in the Discord, so just check out the Discord later if you're looking to get into that. All right, guys, we have the setup over here. The setup's actually dropping lower. It's probably going to be over here at 47,000. So I'm going to go and put this in over here real quick. We got this candle closing in about 50 seconds. So see if this here sets up, guys. If it does, we're looking for possible daily entry here. It's at 47,000. It's got to close below this point though, and it has to close with the sell signal. So I got to confirm. I'm just going to jump in right away. We got 20 seconds left. All right.
Order filled.
That'll happen with these. I don't know what happened right here, but
Order filled.
47. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened with this over here. Something had some sort of glitch on NinjaTrader. Of course, it happened on NinjaTrader. So it actually didn't fill yet. I don't know why it said fill. This is why I hate NinjaTrader, guys. I keep telling you guys how if, why does it keep doing that? What the fuck? I don't know what the hell's going on here with this. Let me check this real quick. Um, Trying to figure out what's going on with this. My NinjaTrader for some reason is glitching all over. I don't know what's going on. It says it's out of bounds.
Order filled.
Let me see this. My order hasn't filled yet, guys. Just to keep thinking, I'm trying to figure out like what's going on with this thing here. Um, I don't know. It keeps giving me like it's trying to fill the order and it says limit bands or there's something. Let me just let me place it on a different. Let's see, where am I at? 47,000, right? Yeah. I don't know if the numbers are wrong or I'm just gonna put it on different. Okay, I'm gonna try this on a different thing. Huh. I don't know why this is here. The pricing is way different. That's why it keeps giving me an error. For some reason on NinjaTrader. Oh, did we roll over? Because I'm on June. Oh, fuck, that's why. Okay, well, fuck, I gotta like fix this then. Thanks, guys, for the heads up on that. I was like wondering what happened. I need to cancel my order then. Okay. I was so confused. I was like, dude, why is the price so off? It's because it's so far, because we're below already. Um, okay, I gotta roll over on on the hedge fund accounts too. I don't know if the hedge fund already rolled over, but yeah, I guess it automatically rolled over on Ninja. We're on the June contract, which is YM. I mean, it's fine. My entry didn't fill anyway. It's not a big deal. So I gotta get off the continuous YMH. No, YMH is the March contract. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I see what this is. Um, we're on the June YMM. Okay. See, the thing is, I don't want to roll. Fuck, I can't. I don't think I can go backwards. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go backwards on here because the volatility is going to be really low on YM. Well, whatever. It's not going to be a big deal. Okay, I got to figure out how to roll this over on StoneX. Let's see. Hopefully, it gives me time to figure this out before I. That's what I hate about using a new platform because I don't know where anything is. View YMM. Do this stuff. I'm trying to fix my student. Man, the StoneX platform is so freaking old. I hate how they. Okay, there we go. Or no. I'm trying to like latch it on somewhere. Let me just. I have to reset my StoneX. Either way, there's no interest. I haven't. There would never be. There would haven't been a fill for me right here. So the fill would have been right here, guys, at 47,300. So it's not like I missed the move. Now I got to figure out how to roll over or open a new chart here for StoneX. Um, okay, I think this is what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to. It's like the most simple thing. I'm trying to just change the symbol here on StoneX, and I can't change the symbol. Uh, all right, whatever. I gotta figure it out. Either way, there's no entry here yet, so I wouldn't be able to get in. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I hate contract rollover because it always throws me off. I probably just overlooked it when I logged into NinjaTrader. I think I was logging in too quickly, and I didn't even look at the rollover confirmation. But yeah, I'm trying to just change the because it still sets to May. It's on YMH. I gotta get on YMM. Where's my debt to market at? Okay, perfect. What the fuck? Okay, I think I got it figured out. Either way, the entry wouldn't have failed, guys. So if you guys are looking to get into, I mean, something there, of course, or looking to get into that entry, it wouldn't have filled to begin with. Um, yeah. So I gotta figure out how to do this though. I can't I can't not know how to do this, especially when it comes down to crunch time like this. Um, bracket, sub bracket, 150, 75. I mean, this still might fail, guys. So is at 47,300. I don't think there's any news here, so let me go back real quick. I'm gonna go see if there's any. I don't know if anybody's still looking to get into it. There might be opportunity here. Price is respecting the support level, so it pretty much came down right here, bounced off the support, and it's coming back up. And then it might come back down. So the entry technically is still gonna be right there at 47,700. Yeah, thanks, guys. I just saw your messages. Oh, yeah, thanks for all the input about the rollover. Man, I don't know how I overlooked that. I never overlooked the rollover like that, but for whatever reason today, it, I completely missed it. All right, Vince, we'll see you back here tomorrow. I just saw your message. Yeah, so hopefully it'll be ready for you by then, so you can just turn it on and uh and just let it run for you. All right, guys. So if you're looking to get into the daily intro here, I haven't set my order yet. I'm still kind of just waiting to see how price reacts to this specific area. Um, yeah, I haven't set my order yet, but let's see. We're away by like 15 points. See, the thing I don't like about it is that it's 7:53 right now. We're getting close to 8 o'clock. The volatility is probably gonna flatten out again. Um, I'm just trying to see how price reacts to this area here. Because like maybe I could get in for a discount. Looking over here real quick. So rejecting off the point of control here on the market profile. On the 1 minute, it's coming back to retest this resistance. It's retesting the resistance right here as well on the 10 minute. So you might push up to fill. What I might wait for is I might wait for it to push above here, and then I'll try to get in for like a discount. Like maybe get in at the sessions, maybe 310. Yeah, I haven't gotten in yet, guys. If you guys are looking to get in, you guys can get in now if you want. I'm just waiting to see if there's a better opportunity here to get in from. So we're currently at 300. We're literally at 300. I was trying to get in a little higher at where the sessions was at. Like it was to push up a little bit above it. Let's see. So price is sitting right there at that resistance point. 10 minute right there is kind of just sitting there as well. Or actually, this is a different. Ah, fuck! I just realized I'm on a different asset because this is the pricing's different, but it's same concept. The structure is still the same. Like I said, now that I've realized that we're at contract rollover, today's actually a really risky day, guys, because everyone's trading at different prices. Um, some people are on the June contract still, some people are on the May contract still. Um, I don't like trading rollover days or rollover weeks in general. They're usually kind of risky for obvious reasons. Um, but this trade can still play out. So I'm watching it right now. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get in for a discount here. And then because if I get in for a discount, it's gonna be a little easier for me to stomach the risk. It's kind of where I was hoping for it to get to. I just want to see some confirmation here if it's actually come back down. See, here's the problem. This is where I'm like more concerned about is that like we don't have a directional bias, right? The trend over here is bearish on the 4 hour, it's bullish on the one, or bullish neutral, it's bullish on the 30. We have some big wicks on the bottom side, which I don't like. 10 minute over here, price is pushing up very strongly. The thing is, I don't know if this is going to hold or if this is going to come right back down because this is what happened on Friday too. Price came, it filled it, went into some drawdown like up to here, and then it came down all the way down to target, right? Uh, the problem is we're in this position really late. It's like 8 o'clock already. And let me go see if I can see what my fundamental bias was for today. I know I shouldn't be using outside um analysis or confirmation or whatever, but on a day like this, it's kind of key to kind of use some sort of, and it's bearish for fundamentals, so this thing could come back down further. Yeah, I could easily come back down further. I'm trying to get in for as much of a discount as possible. I know I shouldn't be doing this. I should just get in, but I'm trying to wait for it to push up a little higher and then maybe get a little more of a discount. Because if I get in up here, I'll be able to discount it so much more, right? My risk could be very minimal, like 20 points versus the full 75. But then I also take the risk of not getting into the position, right? I could totally miss the position completely if I don't get in right away, or if I don't get in at some point soon. So it's kind of a balancing act right here. It's like, do I get in right now? Do I wait for it to push up to this level at 350? Like, what do I do? Okay, I'm gonna watch it for a little bit and I'll see what happens here. Yeah. So CJ's already in the position. Nice. Um, okay, let's see. It's currently at 30315. Trying to see where the volume's at. The thing too is that there's not a lot of volume here. So the volume is sitting at 339. That's like where the most volume's at. It's at 318. 350 is like my sweet spot. That's kind of where I'm trying to maybe get it for discount because then my risk is only going to be like 20 points. Hmm. Let's check the liquidity. So this is where it's a little tricky too because the liquidity that it's showing that there's strong bullish push to the upside, right? A lot of liquidity right there. Price might come up and grab this upper liquidity. Okay, I'm not getting into it. Unfortunate there. It was a good skip. It was a good skip. Looks like price is going to try and grab this liquidity up there. I knew today was going to be weird. When I mentioned this earlier this morning and I said, "Oh, I keep getting disconnected from NinjaTrader. Something is weird is going to happen today." And it never seems to fail, right? A lot of disconnects this morning and a lot of choppiness. And I was on the wrong contract. And there's just a lot of things here. I think at this point, because I was on the wrong contract and my analysis is kind of messed up right now. So my analysis is kind of screwed up at the moment, guys, because I marked up my whole analysis on the continuous contract, but we're actually on the June contract. So my numbers are way off. They're off by like 300 points, plus my zones are off. They're not exactly where they should be. And with this position here, everything was just off about it because I didn't have structure to follow. I didn't have, like, even for this over here, I might have to adjust this market profile. I'm just gonna have to be on the YMM for right now. Yeah, because the numbers are going to be off and the pricing is going to be off. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to tomorrow we're gonna have to do everything fresh on the YMM because I'm doing this on the continuous, but it's not gonna make sense because pricing is it's at 47,000 right now, but realistically on the YMM it's currently at 40, it's 300 point difference. CJ said he got out early because the algo said it would reverse at 650. Nice. So you got out for profit at least, CJ? I'm hoping so. Yes, CJ got out down here around 750. Yeah, before the reversal happened. Okay, perfect. So CJ got in for a nice push right there as it pushed down, and then CJ got out around 750, like right before this candle closed. So you got a pretty good profit, I think. CJ got out for a profit of 100 points, basically, or almost like a little over 100 points. Nice work, CJ. Yeah, that was a smart move to use the algo to identify that. Did you use the algo on the 10 minute or the 1 minute to identify that? I mean, I have the algo right here. I can just pull it up. Yeah, so CJ pulled up the algo over here at 750. Uh, okay, that makes sense. All right, let's see what it says here. Yeah, so the algo had a probability of 38%. It's a little balanced. 38% right there. Yeah, for your algo, did you use the 150/75 or did you use a different one, CJ? I'm just trying to look at like what you saw there. But yeah, the against looks better here. So it looked like the reversal was to happen right there. Profit factor was higher on the sell side, or on not the sell side, the opposite reversal side. Um, yeah, the trade here basically flipped at this point. All right. I don't know if we're gonna have any other entries for today, guys. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. I will be right back in 1 second. I'm just gonna grab some water, and I'll come back to wrap up with the questions. So I'll be back in 1 second. Just go ahead and put your questions in the chat. We'll cover whatever questions you guys have, and then we'll go from there before we wrap this up for the day. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's see if there's any questions here. All right. So, yeah, the analysis here is going to be kind of off. Again, like I said, guys, because pricing is like different. Or let's see, I don't know if it's like super different, at least not yet. I think it takes a couple days or maybe like a week for the continuous to catch up. I mean, it's about the same. There's not really much of a huge difference here. Price is coming back down though. So I'm looking at this here right now. It looks like the entry basically faked, like it spiked up on this huge, huge candle and it's coming right back down to where it was supposed to go. So just a huge fake out right here, basically. Like I said, I was gonna try to get in right here at a discount, right at the 350, because the actual entry was at 300, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to get in right here at 350. I probably could have gotten in at 350, and this thing's actually coming right back down to target. I don't know if anybody got in at that 350, but it's actually looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm like kicking myself now because I'm like, maybe I should just got in at that 350 because I was talking about earlier how like I wanted to get that discount, right? So I could get in at a better price. And yeah, it just basically spiked out right here and then now it's coming back down to where it's supposed to reach or wherever, maybe right there at 350. I'm not in it. I'm just kind of following it right now. But curious to see if it actually goes down and hit target. Either way, that trade it was a messed up trade to begin with because pricing was super off by 300 points. I couldn't get in where I wanted to. Um, and that kind of saved me. So what it looks like happened here is price basically faked out back in. I mean, it's faked out both ways. You guys can see the structure that I marked up here. It's still respected, but price basically came up, came down, rejected off the support, came back up, and then now it's coming right back down. And we're just in a pretty messy market today, which is not really a big surprise because we identified this earlier and we figured this was going to be the case. You know, again, this is another reason why I mentioned I'm trying to stick within, or at least on the 1 minute. This is why it's important to stick between a period where there's like consistent volatility. I mean, there was actually consistent volatility here after. There was like one bullish push over here from 6:30 to 7:15, and then it went flat, and then it came right back down over here between like 7:30 to like 7:50, and then it came right back up. We're actually in a huge range right here, right? Price went up and down within that range. Pretty much respected the ranges from last week, from Friday. This lower range, upper range, lower range, back up here. Steven's asking if I can get in now. No, bro, you're way too late, Steven. You should have got in like at 350. So you're off already by. I mean, if you got in right now, you'd get in at
Okay.
even the fuck. Sorry, guys. My thing. Okay. My Siri just responded to me. But no, Steven, you're way off at this point, bro. If you were gonna get in, you should have got in when I mentioned over here at 350. You're already off by how many points? You're off by 50 points. You already given away 50 points. So that, no, don't get in right now. You're way too late. Um, yeah, if you were to get in, you would have gotten in at the 50 point right here, Steven. But you're way too late. This is how people end up messing up because they chase the trade. You guys should never chase the trade. If it doesn't get in at the price that you wanted, for example, I wanted to get in at 350 here. I could have, but I didn't. Um CJ said that sounds scared the shit out of me. I know me too. I don't know, it's weird. I have Siri turned off on my phone. I don't know why it responded to me. It just said yeah, I don't know. Weird. But all right, guys, I think this might be it. I don't think there's anything here to take right now. If you guys got in at that discounted price, looks like the trade is running. It's looking pretty good so far. I didn't get into this. Um, my trade psychology was already messed up after realizing I was on the wrong contract. So whatever. I think it is what it is. It was meant to it was meant to be. I just wasn't meant to get into this position here. Let me see how far the retracement was on this one from that 300. So the retracement actually wasn't that bad on this one. There's about 30-point retracement to the 300, and then to the 350 it was like 80 points. Um, so again, just a reminder before we get off, and so you guys are ready for tomorrow. My main focus for like the first, I guess, uh 45 minutes is going to be looking for these liquidity break and retests or liquidity grabs, whatever you want to call it. And then after that, if I don't get my two entries, or if I get one entry between this time period here for a liquidity grab, liquidity break, and retest, then I'm not going to take the daily entry because I'm not going to overlap it. I'm just going to take my profits and run with it. Um, if I don't get this entry between 6:30 and 7:15, then I'm going to look for the daily entry. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's going to be my main game plan for the day, or for every day moving forward, at least for now. I'm going to be looking for a scalp here on the 1 minute because I'm taking the same risk that I would if I was taking the bigger move, but I'm only going to take one or the other. I'm not going to take this, and then I'm not also going to take this because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to make profit up within the first 45 minutes and then give it back to the market by losing the daily entry, right? So it's going to be one or the other. It's either market's going to move very volatile in the open. I'll be able to catch a couple of scalps and then I'm done for the day. Or if it's kind of slow here in the morning and I don't get my entry like what happened today, then I'll jump into the daily entry and I'll just take that move back to the downside for correction or upside for correction. So moving forward, guys, that's going to be the game plan. Masish here said he's about to post the profits. Okay, we'll wait for that then. We'll wait for Masish to post his profits. Steven made some profits today as well in gold. Nice work, Steven. So, hey, Masij, good to see you that you made it on. His looks like he might have had a good day. I'm assuming you had a good day, Masij, because we did see the MPS, which came up over here. That was a full TP. And then I'm looking at like how price moved up. I'm assuming you might have got into an Ichimoku confirmation as well. So if you want to kind of have an idea of like what the Ichimoku would have looked like here, it looks like it broke into the pivots and then it closed back above. So if I'm looking at this properly, I know I don't have the Ichimoku clouds on here, but looking at my pivots, the entry probably happened like right there as well. So you might have had two entries right next to each other, back to back. Or you could have taken the MPSPA. There's an MPS, MPSPA. Looks like you might have taken the breakout for 40 points right here. I know you take that sometimes. So there's a couple entries here that Masich took that I can kind of see what the bot would have taken. Just from like, from what we're used to seeing here. So like it could have taken a breakout entry. It could have taken MPS, MPS V2, MPSPA. It could have taken a Ichimoku cloud entry right here. It could have happened right there, or it could have happened right here as well. If you guys don't want to use the Ichimoku cloud, you can just use the pivots. The way that the strategy here would work is very similar. Basically, what happens is price would either break into the pivots and then break back above and close, or it would take a reversal here. Price would push up and then reverse down below the previous. Okay, nice. Yeah, so Masish had two MPS and one lower low reversal. Got it. I think there might have been a lower low reversal here, but it might have disappeared because the lower lows it moves with price. Because I know Vince was asking about that today too, about the lower. He was looking at a couple different higher highs and lower lows, but I didn't really see them here. But might have been another setup. So I'm assuming you got three back-to-back wins right there, huh? Masish. All right, we'll wait for Masish. He's going to post up his profits, and then once he's done, I'm going to wrap this up for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, yeah, tricky day today with the contract rollover. I didn't take anything specifically. Um, yeah, didn't really take anything. So hopefully tomorrow will be a little smoother. I mean, it should. Let me turn off my StoneX accounts. Don't want to have any accidents here. All right, looking at this right now. Some break and retests right here. Levels are a little small, but the ATR is kind of low. All right, let's see. All right, so here is Messige's profits for the day. He took 3 wins, 2 MPS, and 1 lower low reversal plus R, plus XR for the day. Yeah, great profits right there. So 3 back-to-back wins. He locked in 35,040 for the day. Nice work, Messige. All right, so Messige is killing it. Looks like he's almost back to where he was. Back to where he was before he reset his accounts. So he's up 72,000 so far. So I'll do 72,000. We'll just round it like whole number minus 50 times 6. So Message is up 132,000 for the month so far for March because he reset it in March. So nice work right there, Message. Yeah, and everyone's excited for the bot to be released to you guys here to the public, not to the public, but to our community. So if you guys are part of the Cody Kai Discord or group, then you guys have been around for a while, you guys will have access to this hopefully by the end of the month, maybe early next month. Yeah, excited for that. So like I said earlier, guys, I'm just kind of transitioning what Mesij is doing, but I'm doing it manually. So like he's taking 2 trades. He's either taking 3 wins and he's done or 2 losses and he's done. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm cutting it down to 2 entries because obviously I'm not going to be as fast as the bot. I can't look for these entries that quickly. But yeah, Mesij over here took 2 MPSs, which would be this one right here, this first one. And yeah, it looks like he took 2 of them actually. So the other one was like maybe like right here. Unless he took it from up here. I don't know. Anyways, he took the entries. Basically for his profits right there, it was 2 MPS and 1 high-low or higher-high reversal or lower-low reversal. So pretty good. Um, let's see. iPhone's asking, do you plan to use the bot for the hedge? Yeah, plan using it for the hedge. Well, I mean, Mesij is probably gonna give you. There's gonna be a different option for TradingView. Mesij actually doesn't use TradingView anymore, so just keep that in mind, guys. Mesij has created his own separate platform. He doesn't use TradingView anymore because he's and I talked about this with him last night. Like TradingView is good for manual trading, for analysis, for visualization purposes, but for bots and stuff, it's not the best option. So yes, this will be used on the hedge, and it'll be controlled by me, of course. Mesij is going to create a version that you can use for TradingView, but it's not going to be I mean, it'll be clean, but I don't know if it'll be this clean because he's using a different platform for it. Um, his own custom platform. Because the problem with this is that you need to have live data, which perfectly fine. We can get the live data somewhere. And the thing is, TradingView doesn't have that live data that we need for the tick data for the order flow. So just um just something to keep in mind, right? But yes, I will be using it for StoneX. It's going to be actually native to StoneX. It's just a better platform, guys. Like TradingView is good if you're like a retail trader and you're doing analysis and you're doing technical trading, but if you're using a bot, TradingView is not going to be the best option, but it still works. So just keep in mind if you guys are going to use it with TradingView, which majority of you are, if not all, you have to pay attention to it because there's going to be glitches, there's going to be disconnections, there's going to be a lot of things that you have to pay attention to, and we'll try to cover that stuff, when it comes time for us to release this to you. But yeah, let me see. Steven said the bot is like waiting for GTA 6 of trade. Yeah, basically, right, Steven? That's the hype behind it. CJ said he got 150 point wins for the day, was hoping for a fourth, but can't complain. Yeah, so CJ over here locked in this first one. I think this was this an MPS? I don't know what this one was right here. I think you mentioned it, CJ. Let me see. Yeah, so the daily entry, he had to exit. First one was an algo entry. Second was an algo entry, and then the third was the daily entry. So he took an algo entry right here. Um, looks like he took the reversal, right? So he took the flip the other way. So it looks like you're going against momentum. Is that the case right here, CJ? It seems like for the 10 minute, the reversals actually work better versus the with momentum, which makes sense because the movement's probably already done for that. Um, yeah, no, looks good. Danielle's asking if the bot can use the bot for prop firms or strictly live funds. Yeah, it's mainly for you would want to use it for live funds, Danielle, because prop firms don't allow for bots. I mean, you if you want to take the risk, you can, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. Um, for the obvious reasons, because you don't want to get banned for like a company like Apex. Apex, you don't want to get on Apex bad side because you can make the most money on Apex. Um, I mean, you might be able to try it on like a smaller prop firm, like that you don't care about, right? But yeah, with Apex, you probably don't want to use it because last thing you want to do is get banned on Apex and then miss out on all that money you could make with like 20x accounts. So, all right, guys, I think this is it for the day. I have a meeting that I have to get into. I have to meet with another new hedge fund client. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I think we're going to be wrapping this up for the day. Um, yeah, I think that's it. So, all right, guys, we'll come back tomorrow. Like I said, we're gonna try to take certain entries between 7 or 6:30 and 7:15. Mainly looking for two entries, increase the risk a little bit, but I'm gonna be looking for two entries basically um, of these liquidity break and retest. Very similar to the zone to zone strategy, very similar to high low break and retest. It's just different structure being used. So instead of SR zones, I'm using liquidity as a retest structure. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Discord. If you guys are part of the sports betting Discord, again, the sports betting Discord is free, guys. Everything's free. So if you want to sports bet, join the sports betting Discord. Um, if you guys need help finding it, let me know and I'll post it up. But other than that, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Messi said he got his last payout today, Sean, from Apex. I'm done with props for now. Yeah, I mean, you don't really need it anymore, right? Because you just trade your personal funds with the bot. It just makes more sense. You don't have to ask for a payout. You just get the money directly. So, all right. So Messi is done with prop accounts, guys. I don't have anything bad against prop accounts, specifically Apex, guys. I know a lot of people are confused about the new Apex accounts. I think the new Apex accounts are actually good because they're now end of day. So if you guys want to sign up for a new Apex account, just use my code. There's a promo going on, but you have to use my code. If you don't use my code, you're gonna pay full price or you're gonna pay a premium. So just keep that in mind, guys. I have the admin code. So if you use my code, it's a specific admin code that will allow for higher discount. Because I think if you use like whatever code they give, like they have a generic code saved now, it's like 50% off, but you don't get the full discount that you would if you're using mine. Because I'm partnered with them directly, so I'm not giving you like a generic code. You get like a higher discount with them. So yeah, if you guys want to sign up for an Apex account, use the code Cody, KODI, and you'll get the highest discount. It's going to be higher than whatever they're offering because they give us a higher rate than what's given to the general public. So, okay, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I'll still be hanging around, but I'm not going to be here on the live session. I got to get into a meeting in the next couple minutes. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys here tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, we'll be back to continue this trading week